I do something called the 5-star shout out. I love to say this line. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in. You can't make a. You know what I'm talking about.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing out there? Y'all know what day it is. Happy Saturday. Time for the Side Jawn. Dennis Holmes is here, and the Chocolate Girl is here as well. What's going on, Chocolate Girl?
Hey, Dennis, Inner Thinkers Podcast. What's going on? Saturday, my favorite day of the week. Glad to be here.
Yes. Always glad to be here. Talk our stuff. Glad that everybody's came through and seen what was going on. Now, listen. How was your week, though? You know, we always start off with how was your week? How was your week?
I've had a great week. I can't complain. Isn't that great? I had a great week. I cannot complain. Here. I'm here, and family's good. You're good. Podcast life is good. My job is good. Mm-hmm. I'm blessed and highly favored. And the things that we're going to talk about today, when you look at some data, we're doing all right over here. We're doing all right. How about your week? How has it been this week for you?
Week was good. This week was good. I usually don't have too many bad weeks. This was good. This is a good week. I did some couple of extra training things this week, and got to see you on Tuesday. Been a while since you've been on Tuesday. I got to see you on Tuesday. I said, "Oh, man, it's gonna be a real Tuesday."
Yeah. Yes, it was so much fun to be back. I was so happy. Oh my gosh.
You were truly missed. You were truly missed.
Thank you.
But you know, I'm going to have to say this today. We are talking about, we having like a real talk episode here because I really was sitting back and I was thinking to myself, like, what are some of the things that's wrong with the world? Could you fix the world? And I'm like, nah, you really couldn't fix the world. But it's things that's wrong with the world and some of the stuff I don't think ever gonna change. I just truly believe that. So we doing top 5 things that's wrong with the world today. If y'all don't know that, and some of this stuff I really don't believe is gonna change at all. So one of the main things, I guess we're gonna both tell our 5s and 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s, and together, or you want me to do my 5 and you do your 5? You muted.
I see. Let's do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 together. Like you do your 5, I do my 5, and so forth on down the line.
Okay. All right. Well, the number 5 thing I think that's wrong with the world is I believe that politics is number 5. I believe politics around the world is one of the big problems. I guess we could say more of a dictatorship because a lot of people don't have a voting system around the world. So I think I'm going to say it's more of a dictatorship, and who you picking to be the leader of the free world is a situation out there in the world. We got Joe Biden because we wanted to get rid of Donald Trump, right? And then next thing you know, Donald Trump is to lead the vote again this year. Now, I'm just talking about the United States right now. Is the lead to vote again this year, and supposed to be getting prosecuted, but still running for president of the United States.
Yeah.
And has his own sneaker out. Let me get that part out the way.
Yeah, that's
he gonna get all the new voters he needs. It's not about what you know. It's a popularity contest. It's a popularity contest. Who do you like?
Well, I'm sorry. I just have a whole problem for a multitude of reasons with this sneaker thing. And I'm even more surprised at the reaction of some people. Now, I don't know if these videos were fabricated, because we're living in an age now. We can't even trust video anymore. You don't know if it's real or AI, or they got paid to say this or do it. But I've seen videos with some folks that look like me and you with these shoes on, talking about, yeah, I've got me a pair, and yeah, and saying all this positive stuff about that man just because of the shoe. But like I said, I don't know if that's real, fabricated, fake. Hey, we'll pay you so much money, put these shoes on, we're gonna interview you, and blah blah blah. You just don't know anymore.
They got them a pair of January 6s.
Have you seen the shoe? They're ugly.
I seen them, but see, you know what? At SneakerCon, it's gonna be some people that's gonna buy them shoes, and they're gonna be collector's items, and they're gonna go for some money years down the line.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna profit off of it and use the money that he gets from the shoes to do his dictatorship seeking that he's trying to do. If people are not understanding that he wants to be a dictator, and that's the steps that he's taking to get there, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not paying attention, or you're not comprehending something, or you're gullible or something. It's not a personal attack, but it's clear what this man is doing. And people who are choosing to say, "Oh no, that's not what he's doing. He just wants the best for America." It's a lie. He don't give a damn about America. He cares about himself and his kids.
He's one of the best businessmen out there, and he gonna make sure that he always stays in business. That's what I'll give him. He's one of the best businessmen out there. He gonna make sure he stays in business.
I'm not gonna say that he's one of the best businessmen, because he's not. He's a failed businessman. But what he is a master wizard. He's the man behind the curtain. He's the Wizard of Oz, and he's a damn good one, because deception and lies is how he's made his money. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he went and got a pair of them sneaks. He said, "I'm gullible. I ain't mad at you. Do what you do. If you felt as though those are the right sneaks for you, do what you do."
Just know, when you buy those sneakers, you're supporting him and everything that comes with them. Just as long as you okay with that, have at it. But I'm just letting you know from where I sit. No.
Okay. So what was your number 5?
My number 5 is all the isms in the world: fascism, racism, sexism, and all the phobias in the world: homophobia, Islamophobia, any anything, anti-Arab, anti-Jew, anti-Black, anti-American, all these others, people othering other people all over the world and trying to reign supreme like they are the supreme and everybody else is garbage. So we are right to hate those people over there. To me, that's something that can't be beaten away. It can't be fought away. It can't be starved away. It can't be killed away. It's generational and passed down from generations to generations, which is why we're having this issue over in Gaza right now. And I look at people over here now, it's really a thing now, Dennis. You were talking about political. It's a thing now in America to be down with the cause against the government, no matter who's in power in the government now. They don't care if you Democrat, Republican, or anything. They just gonna go against whatever you doing. So now all of a sudden, I have never seen this many people interested in the Israel versus Palestine situation ever. And I've been following politics for 47 years. And I've never seen it like this across the board, where people younger than me even care and were trying to find out about it and make statements about it and hold the government accountable. You're supporting this and that. I'm telling you right now, I'm not on either side of that argument. You know why? Because the start of it goes way back to biblical times. The story has been watered down to favor each side, depending on who's telling it. So you really don't really know who really started it and whose fault this is. So whose side to take? They're both wrong. They both have made human rights violations. They've both attacked each other wrongly, murdered each other. The difference is one side happens to have power because they have the most money and they controlling everything. So they can, what's the word I want? Oppress the other group. But you got to go back to the beginning to find out who's really the right guy and who's really the bad guy in the situation. And you're not going to be able to do it. So I just choose. I feel like we should not even be involved in it on either side, period. We have too many things to take care of in America to be doing over there, spending money, doing anything with either one of them. But it's strategic why we are. It's because of who Israel represents in the world over there, in the location, and who their allies and ties are. People want to say, you need to take a stand and be bold, America, to do this, that, and the third. Well, this president did it. With each administration, the tide turns, y'all. You can't compare what this president is doing to what that president did to stand up against Israel before. You can't, because it's not the same. But anyway, number 5 is mine. Because like I said, you there's nothing you can really do to change it. The people will have to want to change it themselves and stop passing that ignorant crap down from generation to generation. And like you said, I don't think that's going to happen.
But something to talk about. My number 4, similar to your number 5, but I call it hate. Because I see people who just find ways to wake up and want to argue and hate on other things that really don't even matter. Really, I just see that it really doesn't even matter. And similar to what you were saying, I've seen people go out and okay, like a perfect example, right? Perfect example what I mean on the hate side, right? And how things can turn on you in a matter of like 1 year, right? I think it was a little bit later than this, but I'm gonna say it was about April or May of last year. We found out that Shannon Sharp was going to not be on FS1 no more. So which means he wasn't going to have no job. He wasn't going to have no job. No job at all. After June, he had no job. It wasn't until about August that he got the job at ESPN. People was like, oh, that's what's up. And then next thing you know, Complex came out with a list of, the top analysts out there, and he was number 1. Now, it's crazy to me because I ain't even seen Complex lists the year before that. But this particular year, there was a list out. He was number 1. Number 1 analyst on Complex's list. Not a bad move. Now he's number 1. This Cat Williams interview comes out. Numbers are through the roof. He goes past Joe Rogan, which a lot of people are like, how he get more views on one show than Joe Rogan did? How he doing Joe Rogan numbers? End of the day, people tuned in. Cat said what he said. People tuned in. Now, seemed like Shannon Sharp got a big issue with it. Like, oh, I can't believe you let him say all that stuff on you. Can't believe all this going on. At the end of the day, Shannon Sharp has been doing this show for 4 years.
Yep.
And got 110 episodes. Yep. But 2 episodes out of 110 makes him a bad guy. That's just to let you know how things can change within a year on a hate level.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I ain't mad at him. That's just one of my examples. I ain't mad at him. Do what you do, get your money. Because wasn't nobody gonna give you nothing when you got fired from FS1. Nope. And I mean nothing but Stephen A. Smith.
Yep. First one that contacted him.
First one to contact. First one that told him that he was gonna get fired.
Told him, yep. Weeks before.
Told him he was gonna get fired. Said they're gonna move on from him.
And he said, if it happens, I got you. He said that. Then he did what he kept his word.
Kept his word.
But people still hating on Stephen A for that, right? Yeah. They try to make it about, oh, well, that's because he knew that Shannon was going to bring these numbers, and that's the only reason. Just like you said, hey, just hating on it.
Hate on it. It got to be the way that they see. You can't do things above what they thought you was going to do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy. You know who else going to start going through backlash like that?
Who?
Ryan Clark.
Really?
Ryan Clark. It's not going to be on that same. May not be on that same level, but you're going to start hearing rumblings like that from Ryan Clark. May not be on that same level, but you're going to hear rumblings. Yeah. He's no longer with ESPN. He's no longer with ESPN. He won an Emmy last year.
Yes.
See what I mean? And now he about to have this big boom, and he gonna get a fat contract. And then everybody gonna be like, how he get on? Watch, you gonna say it? How he get on that? I mean, he nice. He ain't that nice. He ain't zero all that. Ryan Clark was working his ass off.
Sure have. For 2
working
years.
His
straight.
Ass off. And he was mad he got that little ass contract from ESPN and worked his ass off after that.
Yep. Yep. And I tell you, I don't think that story is over. I think he might be back with ESPN. I think. I don't know. I'm hoping that they come to their senses.
I'm hoping he come back too. They know him.
Because I love seeing him every day. I'm already heartbroken over Jalen Rose. I'm still upset about that because I used to look forward to. I used to look forward to basketball season every season to watch ESPN for basketball just because of him. Just because of him. I just wanted to. Well, I shouldn't say just because of him. I'm just interested in basketball. But as far as watching people talk about basketball, he's who I wanted to hear from more than anyone. And now I got to regulate myself to waiting for videos to be posted somewhere, sometime, if it comes up in my feed due to the algorithm in order to see them. Right. And it's just it's irritating to me. But anyway, shout out to Jalen Rose and shout out to Ryan Clark. And I'm gonna say this to everybody within the sound of my voice. Hear me. I don't tolerate no Ryan Clark shade around me. I will come for you. Don't mess with my Ryan Clark. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's coming. It's coming. But it comes with the upper echelon of the money that you're gonna receive. But it's coming.
Well, they better keep that away from me. But anyway, so my fourth one is human rights violations around the world.
Okay.
Human rights violations. For instance, in war. I'm coupling that with war because I feel like in every war situation, there's human rights violations mixed in with all of that. Sometimes it's a catalyst of the war. And for instance, keeping women from being educated in certain countries. Women can be seen and not heard. And then some cases, you can only see their eyes. You can't see the rest of their body. They're walking around looking like mummies almost. That's a human rights violation. They can't be free. Dictating how many children you can have. How you gonna tell a family, a man, a woman having kids, you can only have 2? To me, I understand the catalyst trying to control your population, because if you have too many people to take care of, but you need to figure out something else. There's something else wrong in your country if you have to do that. Not dictating with people how many children they can have, and in some cases, what sex children you have. They drowning the baby girls and keeping all the boys. Now these men are grown. They don't have women to marry. Heterosexual men don't have women to marry because people murdered all their daughters. It's ridiculous. Another example, dictating what your career would be. I remember during the Soviet Union times, they would tell you what your child is going to be, what they're going to be for the country. It wasn't you getting the pick because they're gifted in whatever. No, you're going to do this for our country. And you had to do it. That's, people talk about America, the United States of America, and complain about how jacked up we are over here, and we are. But ain't nowhere else I want to live in the world. I don't care. I don't want to live nowhere else. Nope. No. I'm all right. I'm good. I'll make my way over here. But let me see. Yeah, regulating people to certain areas. That whole Gaza and forcing all the Palestinians to live in this little strip, that's a human rights violation. It is. Let's say over here, it's human rights violation to be dictating what women can do with their body. That's a human rights violation, if you ask me.
Hey, well, they do it and they getting away with it, and that type of dictatorship shouldn't be happening. But they do it and they get away with it all lot.
And people buying shoes.
Right.
That's what their focus is on. Some shiny shoes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead with your number 3.
Number 3. My number 3 probably should have been number 1, but I'm going to leave it at number 3 because I think there's some other issues that's going on out there. And I'm going to say drugs. The drugs in the world has really stopped a lot of things from going on and has messed some people up in this world terribly. And I don't see where people are trying to stop drugs from happening. It's like, no, we ain't going to stop. This is our biggest money maker. That's how they look at it. Like, they ain't going to stop it from, they always say, oh, drugs is illegal. But yet, y'all keep making sure that it's getting in these countries. Y'all keep making sure that y'all got rehab facilities out there for them. If you ain't got no drugs, you don't need to pay for no rehab facilities. You know that, right?
Right.
You get all of that. And all of it. You ain't got to worry about, all these people being strung out, passing out this fentanyl and all these overdoses. You ain't got to worry about none of that.
Yeah.
If you just get rid of these drugs. These drugs have messed up people all over. Now, some of these drugs have been good. Some of these drugs have worked for the better good on people. Not all, some. And there's other drugs out there that has not worked for the better good of people, and yet people still taking it. It's kind of crazy because I understand that, when crack came out, crack and cocaine came out in the 70s and 80s. So if you was around that time and you took it, that was a recreational drug for that time. But if you in the year 2010 and you decided to say, I want to try crack and cocaine, and there's no wind to it, what in the hell is going on with you? Like,
yeah.
I just don't.
I agree.
It's really tore down not just communities, not just households, but we talking about the world.
Well, you do remember that it's been proven that the government put that in our neighborhood on purpose.
Yeah, and they still are.
Yeah. And just like Nino Brown said, we don't own no planes flying that mess over here. We, as in us. We don't own those planes bringing it over here. We
100% agree with you.
Planes. So, art imitates life. Just people need to keep that in mind. It might be a fictional story, but part of that is some truth. What's up, Marcus Betts? He said, in the words of Rick James, cocaine is a powerful drug. It is. It is. And it's still a popular drug of choice, especially amongst the elites and the people in Hollywood and stuff.
Some of them need it just to function, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
You just can't be your regular self and just function.
Yeah. I'm so happy I don't have that addictive gene in my DNA. I don't possess that. Some people naturally possess it. Some people do.
Some lady asked me that. She was like, "Well, what you do? What's like your little get high? What you do to get high?" So I don't do nothing to get
high. Wake up.
I'm like, I don't get high. She's like, "What you mean you don't get high? You don't have a get high nothing?" No, I don't have a get high. I said I used to go out and drink a lot, but I don't even drink that much no more. I don't have a get high. I just chill. And I'm having a good life.
I'm high on life, honey. I wake up every morning. That's my get high, because I can wake up and I can open my eyes and I can see, hear, taste, touch, think, do all the stuff, smell. That's my get high. Marcus Best says Ray Charles liked heroin and helped with his creativity. People who say that drugs help with their creativity are very interesting to me. And it's very sad. It's sad that you need a chemical to be creative. Because that's all it is.
It takes them to another place of thought. And makes them more creative. I ain't say it was a good thing, but we have gotten some great music out of drugs. I am going to say that.
Yes. But I think that if they would have given themselves a chance to create without it, they could have been just as great. We'll never know because they didn't do it.
I was going to say that. We will never know.
So.
We'll never know.
All right. So that was your number 3, right? Drugs.
My number 3. Drugs.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my number 3 is hunger and poverty. And I know some people listen to probably think that's kind of low at 3, but it's 3. And wait till you hear what the other 2 are. You'll probably see why. But number 3 has got to be hunger and poverty. I've got some numbers. You know me, I love to pull the data. 20% of the world population are suffering extreme food shortages. 30% of children under the age of 5 suffer extreme malnutrition. And 2 people per every 10,000 die every day from malnutrition. Every day. 2 per 10,000 in a world of over 25 billion people.
Right.
That's a lot. 1.1 billion live in poverty out of 6.1 billion people in the world. 1.1 billion live in poverty, mainly driven by, the numbers are mainly coming from South Asia and the sub-Saharan Africa region. That's where most of the people in poverty live. Those numbers are shocking. And it's sad. I'm going, that's world poverty. I didn't pull the data just for the United States, but it's bad here too. And you can't be creative. You can't add to the great wonders of the world. You cannot. You just can't. If you're hungry and don't know where your next meal come, you can't study, learn. It's much more difficult. Sheila says she's surprised. What's up, Sister Sheila? Surprised by the highest poverty areas. You got to remember, Sheila, South Asia includes India. And that's where the highest concentration of people in poverty live in India. That's part of that South Asia that they're talking about. And Marcus said a lot of that is through pure greed. You have like 6 people that control most of the world's wealth. You will also see more hunger as climate change happens, and I'm getting to that later. Yes, you will. But yeah, it is like six families. I wouldn't say 6 people. I'll say 6 families that control the world's wealth. What are we going to do about it, folks? The numbers are startling. Life could be so much better in the world if we had less poverty and hunger, but what are we going to do about it?
No, they only choose to help feed the ones that they want to, which I think is ridiculous. But, I watched us go to war with a country and then feed the same country as we was going to war with. Like I said, it's ridiculous. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get to my number 2. Number 2, it's kind of one of my favorite things to say all the time. Number 2, I got talkers and doers. It's one of my favorite things to say. You got people who could talk the talk, they can't walk the walk. All right. There's a lot of people out there that got dreams and want to do this and want to do that. And I sit back and I look at things and I say it's things that I want to do and I want to accomplish. And I watch, and I'm just gonna give you some certain examples. I watched Killer Mike when he first came out, and Killer Mike been out for over 20 years.
Yeah. Right?
But it took Killer Mike till he was 48 years old to win his solo Grammy, and he didn't just win a solo Grammy; he swept the rap category in Grammys. Right there, and you know how I always say, when God gives you your blessings at the high, the devil is right there creeping in. What happened right after that? He went right to jail. But he got out about a couple hours later. But he went right to jail. And he finally got, what he wanted. He just wanted to finish his story and get a Grammy, and he finally got what he wanted. Had to spend his own money on it because he didn't have a record label. He went independent and got 3 Grammys off one album called Michael, and put his hard work into it at 48 years old. That's one example. Okay. The other night, I was sitting there watching basketball, and I was hearing the voice, and I was like, that sounds familiar. And doing commentary, I was hearing the voice. And it was Huey Brown. Huey Brown is 90 years old.
Yep.
Doing commentary at an NBA basketball game. Still. And his knowledge is still at the top level, just like everybody else.
Yep.
At 90 years old. I had great-grandparents that was up to 90. Their level of knowledge wasn't all the way up there at 90 years old. All right, I'm just letting you know. Huey Brown is 90 years old. So for people who out there saying, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I feel don't Huey Brown is 90 years old. Killer Mike didn't get his biggest break until 20 plus years into the game. All right?
Right.
These are the things that I sit back and I think about. Huey Brown, my fault. I said Huey. But these are the things I sit there and think about. So if you're sitting there and you're talking and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Don't just talk it. Do it. They printed up plenty of money out here for everybody. All right? Enough money out here for everybody. So no, I don't want to hear oh man, I ain't going to get the money he getting. I'm going to have to be better. No. There's an outlet. There's things you can do. Go get the money. Stop making it about excuses. All you're doing is keep talking excuses. Stop being a talker. Start being a doer.
What's some examples of the people that are talkers and don't do, like on a broad scale?
There's a lot of them on social media. I can tell you that. They usually got a keyboard that they don't need. Let me just say that. There's a lot of them on social media. They got a keyboard. They wake up in the morning with a keyboard that they don't need and just want to talk, and don't be out there trying to do. You gonna do it? Do it.
I think that it leads to them wasting a whole lot of time. They could be putting their thoughts and resources into helping the planet, and they on there just bashing somebody and wasting time scrolling. You know, I get those I don't know about your phone, but my phone gives me a report on my screen time. So my goal has been to decrease my screen time. I've been decreasing my screen time over the last couple of years. And I'm really starting to get really happy about it. I'm almost to the place that I want to be, where I'm not addicted to looking at this phone all the time or this laptop. I don't want to be that. Got other things to do. You know, when I was sitting around, you know, sick and I couldn't do anything but go to work. Yeah, I would do a lot of scrolling because I couldn't do anything else. But now that I'm feeling better, or I shouldn't say just feeling better, but I am better, I'm getting back more active. I just don't have time to do it and love it. What you think the main reason is for those talkers that don't think they can do it?
They find self-doubt. They look back and they find self-doubt. They find any self-doubt that they got and they hold on to it. That's what it is.
You have any suggestions?
Steve Harvey always talking about you need to just jump. Steve Harvey always say that. You're going to have to jump. A lot of people are scared to fail.
You have any tips for those people?
One of the best things that I want to say that I did to get over some of my fears was talk to somebody that gives you some positive motivation. So I'm going to tell you one of the fears I had. One of the first fears I had was flying. That was one of the first fears I had. And shout out to my ex-wife. My ex-wife helped me get over the whole flying situation. Second fear that I had was going on vacation by myself. I always wanted to go with somebody. Just in case something happened, I had somebody with me. Well, my sister, who can kind of like talk me into some things. She the one that I get a phone call from her and we have a conversation. She can talk me into something that I don't really want to do. You know, like I got my mom and dad, and you know they give out wisdom, and I listen to them. But if my sister says it, then it's like, all right, she might really be right about something.
Right.
Yeah. So she talked me into actually going on vacation by myself. And once I did that, now I just go all the time. I don't even care.
Got you.
Yeah. So you need some positive people out there in your life too, because you may not even know that you talk negative all the time.
Your tribe is important. Who you have in your circle is important. It can make you or break you sometimes. That was your number 2?
Yeah, number 2, talkers and doers.
All right. Well, my second one is climate change. And I want to say this to the people who are out here not believing that climate change is a thing. I'm going to read you some more stats. The combined land and ocean temperature of the world, of the Earth, has increased at an average rate of 0.11 Fahrenheit degrees in Fahrenheit per decade since 1850. So since 1850, it's just been 0.11 every 10 years warmer. Since 1850, if you look at from 1850 through all the way through now, right? But if you go back just to 1982 until now, the temperature has increased at a rate 6 times that. So instead of 0.11, it's 0.36 degrees Fahrenheit every decade since 1982. Why is that important, y'all? I'll give you one. There's thousands of examples as to why this is a problem, but I'll just give you one. Do y'all know that the Earth has snow caps on them? Snow caps, North Pole, South Pole, snow caps. It helps keep the earth, the globe balanced and keep waves from not drowning out the whole earth. Everything is dependent upon those doggone snow caps. Do you know they're melting? Have y'all not seen any documentaries or even commercials with the polar bear sitting on a piece of ice floating in the middle of the ocean because, or the lake, river, or whatever, because the ice is melting and they're stranded? That stuff is real. We didn't have AI back then, y'all. The stuff is real. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look up what could happen if the snow caps continue to melt away. What could happen to the globe? If you dare. And if you dare to believe science is still real. Now, if you don't believe in science anymore, I guess you don't have to waste your time. But anyway, so Buck Flair, what's up, Buck Flair, said, it's in God's hand. I don't worry about it. That's fine. You don't have to. But everybody's not going to be able to go to the moon. You're not rich enough, Buck. You, your family, you're not rich enough. You got to be Elon Musk or somebody to make it to the moon. They're not taking all of us. They're not going to do it. I don't think any of us in this podcast that's watching or on it would make it. Unless you secretly a billionaire and we just don't know, Buck Flair. So I'm just saying, people want to talk about, if you look at the evidence, I'm in North Carolina. This is February. We've had 0 snow where I'm at. 0. We at least have 2 snowfalls every winter. And the snow, when I say snowfall, I don't mean 6 feet like y'all get up there. It might be a dusting of snow, like overnight. And then at least some ice. We used to have 1 to 2 ice storms and snowstorm. We didn't have any of that this winter so far. And it's February. February is usually our roughest month, January and February. That's when we have our winter.
Yeah, it used to be. It's kind of crazy that you say that. We got snow this year, but if you would have talked to me last year, I'd have been like, man, I ain't seen no snow since about 2018.
No real snow. Like real snow.
I ain't talking about no 2 inches. I'm talking about real snow. Like you gotta go out there shovel, and then in another hour you gotta go shovel again.
Yeah, real northern snow. That's real northern snow, right?
Right.
Northern, Midwest. We know all about that snow. And no, it hasn't been like that in years. And what happens is, do y'all understand that when the temperatures don't get cold enough, long enough in the winter, that it doesn't kill enough of the insects that come around in spring and summer? And we could have outbreaks? But you don't care about care about climate change. I do, because I don't want malaria to come back. Mosquitoes carry that. I don't want it to come back. Mosquitoes also carry other diseases. Yeah. Oh, okay. So what, Buck Flair? It doesn't mean that this is not happening, though. You must not be a believer. You must be one of those people that say that climate change is not real because of something that happened 100 years ago. I don't give a darn what happened then. I'm telling you what's happening now. And what's happening now is alarming. It's alarming. Read the history. Who says I haven't? How do you know I haven't? That's what I want to know. People kill me that when we have these discussions and they always tell me to read something as if they think I haven't already. I'm a nerd. I've read stuff that I didn't have no business reading just to know it. I've always been that way. As a kid, I would just read about stuff that nobody else cared about and retain it. I should have gone on Jeopardy. I never did. But anyway.
Still can.
Yes, Marcus. The warmer water means snow caps melt, which raises the sea level. And y'all don't believe it's a problem? Go read what happens if the sea level keeps raising. What do y'all think about New York and California? Do y'all know New York is in danger of falling into the doggone ocean over there? No, y'all don't believe that either, huh? And then the same thing is in California. When they show pictures of before and after, there's whole rivers out there that have all but dried up. And they show you the pictures. It's alarming. Why is that important? Because of the natural way, the way nature is intertwined with fish and other sea creatures, and how that relates to the mammals and the insects and the birds and the whole circle of life. That circle of life thing is not just something made up in the Lion King, y'all. It's a real thing. Did y'all not, people my age, Buck Flair, did you not watch Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and the other show? What was that show? I can't think of the name of it now. Jacques Cousteau and all them. Did you not watch all that? I did. So, yeah, fears of hurricanes. Why are we having so many more hurricanes that are larger? Not only are they more fierce, Marcus, they're covering larger areas at once, which is why they're starting to kill more people and ruin and cause more damage than before.
At least got a question for you.
She said, how do you stop climate change? What are some solutions we can do to help? First of all, now that we have destroyed the ozone layer like we have to take steps to minimize the destruction of the further destruction of it, which is why we're looking at electric cars more than we had before, because gas emissions from gas contributes to the thinning of the ozone layer. That's part of it. Yeah, carbon-based fuel like gas. This is why they want more electric vehicles. That's what Marcus just said it. And
but everybody ain't willing to go to an EV.
But they need to make it affordable, just like anything else. That's what they need to do. They got to figure it out. And you know, me personally, I don't really want to be an all electric. I like a hybrid. So even doing a hybrid would help. Yeah. I mean, I trust God too, Buck Flair. Let me tell you something. God helps those who help themselves, though. That's scripture. Okay. It doesn't mean that you just sit here and do all kind of bad stuff, testing God to see if he's going to save you. That's not what you do.
Faith without work is dead.
Faith without works is dead. Same thing. You still gotta use common sense and take care of the blessings that God gave you, and he gave us earth. That's right, Marcus. Faith without works is worthless. So sitting around just talking about, oh, I just trust God and I just keep on with my life while I litter in the street. And you know about plastic? Plastics are killing scores of sea creatures, including fish that we do and do not eat. Why is that important? That's messing with our ecosystem right now.
And that's why they went to those.
When I say climate change, I really should have said environmental issues in general are the number 2 problem in the world. Yes. Because it don't make any sense how many of these other problems we solve if the earth is just gone and we can't live on it anymore. See what I mean? So that's why I have it at 2, because there's still one more thing that's, I feel like, is the number 1 driver of 99.9% of the issues in the world. But I'll get to that.
Yeah. My number 1 is love. That is my number 1. And I believe
love is a problem.
I don't think a lot of people, let me tell you why. I don't think a lot of people have had love in their life.
Oh, you mean the lack of love? You mean lack of love?
I don't think a lot of people know what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And when you say love, and then you ask somebody, what do you feel when you hear the word love? It's going to have a lot of different definitions for people. I had one girl tell me that I didn't love her because I wasn't hitting on her.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times on this show.
Yeah,
that's very, very concerning.
But again, with the love part, if you're not receiving genuine love at home, then you'll go outside to seek it. And if you don't seek it outside, and that's why you hear about a lot of these younger kids commit suicide, and how they're easily manipulated to do things with other people. They'll go pay dollars and thousands of dollars to go to seminars to finally find out what love is, and read books because they're in a search for something that they never had, which is crazy. But it's because I thought everybody had love at home, but I was totally wrong. Totally wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you're raised with love in your home, you do tend to think that other people have the same thing you have.
Right.
Until you're told otherwise. I know I was like that. We had love in our home. But as I got older, my sister and I talk about this a lot. As we got older, especially when I went off to college and I heard stories from other people about their lives, it just reinforced just how blessed my sister and I were to have the parents we did and raised in that household. I tell you.
Yeah, you do gotta be aware of those people that was raised on survival instead of love. Yeah. And they say it takes a village to raise a kid, but if the whole village ain't showing no love, it's terrible, man. And you end up with those terrible human beings that really believe in certain things. And next thing you know, those human beings end up running for president. So things like that happen.
Yep. So my number one is going to be controversial. And I'm sure somebody's going to put in the comments, oh, no, that's not it, blah, blah, blah. What does that have to do with poverty or, crime or whatever? But I'm going to say it because I feel this way. I really, truly feel this way after everything that I've learned in my life. I feel like the number one problem in the world is racism, specifically against Black people, period.
But that was your 5. Your 5 was this.
No. Mm-mm. My 5 was all the isms grouped together. Right. All of them. No. I picked out one, and I'm telling you, this one by itself is the number one problem of all problems in the world right now today, in my opinion. Okay. That's not the same as number 5. That's different.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is we can't go. Do you realize that there is no place on this planet that we can go and not face racism?
You know what's even worse? When you face racism from your own kind.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I crafted my question very carefully. There's no place in the world on this planet. There's no place, not even Africa was supposed to be ours. Because even our own people hate our own people.
Yeah.
There is no place on earth that we can go and not have to worry about something going on, which government does and which government doesn't. Can I go here? Can I walk over here? Can I go over here? No, I can't go in that area. That's a sundown town. Can't go there. I pay taxes in this damn country. I participate in voting. I don't commit crime. I continue the generation by having a child. But there's still parts of this world, this earth, this country, this state that I can't go. You know, to live with that every day. If you're not Black, you just can't understand it. You can't understand why I would say this. You can't understand why I would say that this is the worst problem, the number one problem in the world, ahead of poverty, ahead of human rights violation and war, ahead of climate change and hunger. It is, because all of these other problems stem out of that. And let me illustrate this another way. Several years ago, I took tax class to learn how to do taxes. Aced my test too. Got 98. And I was so proud of myself. The hardest or most difficult part of that class was not the topics that I was learning and having to figure out and understand the tax law and how to calculate things and what you can deduct and can't and how much and remember and all that. That was easy. The hardest part is learning and reading the tax law and thinking about having to be made to think about, where did this come from all these years ago? And being able to connect it in some way to oppressing Black people. It's amazing. It is amazing. If Sheila's watching, she can attest to this in the comments. But when you get behind the scenes and you learn this tax law and you try to start thinking about where these laws started from, the number 2 place they come from is keeping women oppressed in general. White, Black, brown, yellow, purple, cream, it doesn't matter. Men wanted to keep women in check, but the number 1 reason was due to racism against Black people, not Asian people, not our brothers and sisters to the South, that's in Central and South America and Mexico. Not against Europeans, not against Asian, Muslim, Indian. No, it was us that drove the tax law. And there's proof of this. This is not Sharon just being emotional, but although it is emotional because I am Black and I'm a woman. So I got 2 strikes in terms of the tax code. I'm not even going to get into how the tax code discriminates against cousins. Yes, I said it, cousins. It's a real problem. You can claim every other familiar relationship, just about, even non-blood relatives that you adopt, you can claim, but you can't claim a cousin. You don't believe me? Go look at the tax code. Learn about it. Go take the H&R Block tax. You can take the tax class. You don't have to work for them after you do. Take it. I was stunned. I was so upset. I was driven to tears. And my sister was like, I told you. But to sit in a classroom, there were 3 Black people, a Hispanic guy, and a white guy. And we were taught by a white instructor in my little small class. To sit there as a Black woman, it was 2 Black women in there, as a Black woman, and hear this stuff and see it clearly right in front of your face, that was hard. It was so hard that after I finished and got my certificate, I didn't do not one tax return for anybody. It just destroyed my desire to even do it after that. It's helped me do my own better and get myself more money. But I don't even do anybody's taxes, even though I can, because of that. It just hurt too much. So to me, now, how does this relate to the world? Watching the program. I think I may have told this story in the 3 years we've been here on the Side Jawn before. But There was a woman in England doing an interview. She was like an au pair. No, she was a doula. If you don't know what a doula is, it's a person who helps deliver babies in your home instead of going to the hospital. It's like a midwife. It's a midwife doula. This is what she did. This was her profession. She had been doing it for years. She had an impeccable record, recommended by all kinds of folks. And this one lady who was expecting hired her. This woman showed up to the woman's house. They had talked on the phone several times. Great conversation. Oh, yes, I can't wait to meet you. She goes takes 3 trains. I remember her saying that she had to take 3 trains to get to this woman's house. She gets there, walks up, rings the doorbell. The woman answers the door, takes one look at her, and slams the door in her face. She didn't even speak. When she opened the door, the woman said, "Hi, I'm Denise. Nice to meet you." The woman slammed the door in her face, told the agency she went through, "You have to get me a white person."
Dang.
Why? Because Denise was Black. And in this interview, she was moved to tears. She said, in all my 28 years or 20 something, almost 30 years of doing this, I have never experienced something so degrading. Yeah, I've had people, say other racist things, but this one really hurt because we had already established a rapport until she saw me. And, a lot of times you can't tell if a Black person is speaking in that British vernacular. You really can't tell until you see them. And so when she went and this happened to her, it just broke her heart. Broke mine too, listening to it. This is in England. It wasn't over here. Ukraine.
Oh.
Ukraine, when the Ukraine war broke out, there were reports from people broadcasting live. So it wasn't AI, y'all. They were actually broadcasting live from their phones at the train station where white people were telling the Black people who were trying to get on the train to flee the war that had broken out in the Ukraine that they have to wait, and pushing them back, pulling the white people to get on the train, pushing the Black ones back, telling them, you can't get on here. No, it's not for you. So, and they couldn't get on the train to get out. And these are Ukrainians. These are people who work for the railroad. It wasn't just random people who were trying. No, it's the employees. Why? Because that is really driven. That is a part of their culture in the Ukraine. So am I one of these people happy that we're giving them all this money? No. But hey, I understand the strategicness of it. I understand where they're located and who their allies are, and how to, have world peace and not be at risk of being overtaken by Russia. We have to have them as an ally. And I understand all of that. There's a lot of people don't know and don't care and think that it's bull crap. No, that's real. Because other countries they hate us and they want to kill us all. And that's just the fact of it. It's not made up. So yeah, for me, I don't even think for me. I'm going to say, how does this impact white people even? How this impacts white people is that you are told a lie your whole life, and you're passing down lies to your children with each generation because of racism. And you can see it even happening now, Dennis. Florida won't even let the children be taught Black history now. They passed that law.
Well, they taking a lot of things out of schools that I think but then they're not adding. Okay, I don't think that they should take Black history out. It's not what I'm saying.
Well, they did.
But they're not even adding stuff that can help these kids in everyday life. Like, I understand you taking certain things out. Kids ain't learning this. They ain't writing in cursive no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about those things. I'm not talking about Black history. I'm just talking about those things. but you're not adding other stuff in to help these kids in life. Trigonometry ain't gonna help all these kids in life. Like, you need to get something that's gonna help these kids. Like, they need a life class. Those are some of the things that I'm saying. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish. They shouldn't have took Black History out, because that'll help them more in life than goddamn trigonometry.
Well, the killer part of it is, if you don't study something, you're damned to repeat it. You're going to repeat it, and that's the whole objective. That's how racism is affecting even white people. They don't get it. How soon before somebody gonna pick your people to be discriminated against? It can lead to that. I'm not even talking about classism. You know, the wealthy white folks don't care about poor white folks either.
No, don't be.
Oh no.
I had to find that out. I had to find that out growing up, because I went to school. I went to school in a poor white section, and then I went to high school in the rich white section, which ain't nothing but a 3-block radius. Okay, I just want to make sure we get that out of the way. Nothing about 3-block radius. Not no mile away. No. About a 3-block radius. And then the young, you know, the I want to say the underclass poor white section turned into a better section than the rich white section within 20 years. That's how that went down.
Yeah, well, this racism thing in America, until America fixed the problem, we're always going to have issues in this country. Racial issues. It's never going to stop. But it's not our job to stop it, y'all. We're not in control. We're not in power in this country. We didn't create it. We didn't start it. And we're not trying to perpetuate it. We're just trying to live and be free and have, you know, the same things around the world. I said that, Buck Flair. I said we can't
Buck Flair is active this morning.
Yeah, I know. We can't even be. He must be drinking. We can't even be free in our own nations, because yes, if our skin is darker, they will kill us. Where do they do this at? Anywhere else? Where else is this done? We have no place we can go. No place. Do you know they have Nazi and white supremacist groups in Australia? Some of them are worse than the ones that you see walking around in America. Black businessman goes to Australia on business. One of the top-ranked executives at his company. He goes there on business. He's dressed in a suit. He's speaking proper English. He has a haircut in a Caesar, briefcase, everything. He was grabbed and beaten and left with a sign saying nigger on it behind a restaurant in the alley somewhere in Australia. The man was just doing his job. Didn't do anything. That's a street, Buck Flair.
It's sad.
We can't go anywhere. See, I don't even know why you're trying to act like this is not a real thing, Buck Flair. That's part of the problem. Because many white people say that this is not true. It doesn't exist. What are you talking about? I can't do this either. It's always based upon something that y'all not allowed to do. But you possess that because y'all expect to be allowed to do whatever you want, because you have always been able to do whatever you want. So I can't, I love you, but you're wrong, huh? That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I love you. You know me and you love each other, but It's not about that. I'm just telling you. There's a lot of people who feel this way, a lot of white people who feel this way. They're so jaded. They don't get it. And I don't think it's because they're racist too. I don't think that. They just can't see it. And it's okay that you can't see it. But I'm here to tell you, it's not on us to fix it. You guys have to fix this. Those of you who are white are not racist. Those of you who are white and who are anti-racist, you got to get with your brothers and sisters and straighten them out. That's it. But what did you say at the beginning of the show? I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen. Top five things wrong with the world.
So that's mine. It affects everything that's going on in this country. Everything. Why do you think the tax code is so complicated? It changes. It's cyclical, changes with each administration just about. It initially started out being complicated because we Black people couldn't figure it out. They kept it that way, so we can't figure it out. Because remember, we're so dumb. We're like cattle and animals. We have the learning ability of a cow or a donkey or something else. Remember, because we're property. We're not really human beings. So let's just do this. The federal government said that we couldn't do whatever, but let's make it this way so they can understand. And don't get me started, honey. I could talk all day about that. We still need to do our racism show.
We ain't gonna get no racist people to come on.
We won't even get any non-racists to come on. They don't want to talk about it. People do not, especially people who don't look like us, they do not want to talk about it.
Not Buck Flair right there. Buck Flair, come on. He got a lot to say this morning.
That's one person. But he's not gonna do that show. He ain't gonna do that.
He got a lot to say this morning. That's all I'm saying. He got a lot to say this morning. I don't know what they put in his coffee. It must be Kahlua. But he got a lot to say this morning.
But anyway, love, we still got time to talk about some love. It's 11:15.
No, we ain't got that much time to talk about no love. He said I've been around.
We'll save it for our next
our
next one.
All right. Well, next week we will have on who's on next week? I forgot who's on next week. I think next week is Steve. Steve's coming on.
Yes.
Steve Tashkin. Then the week after that we got Marcus Betts and hopefully Ramona Dye for the Alphabet Show.
I would love it so much if they both came. Marcus,
came.
Marcus, the Alphabets football. He and Ramona do this football podcast every Friday during football season at 10 o'clock. I think it's 10 or 9. I think it's 10.
10 o'clock Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern. And I've been watching it now for the last few years, and it's a great show. And Ramona does some fantastic graphics and videos. She got me. She made me have to step up my game because I was like, I can't do like Ramona. I don't know how she learned how to do this. I'm gonna have to step my video game up. Yeah, right. I know it's 10, Marcus. I was just trying to act like I ain't know. I know it's 10. I know it's 10. But yeah, shout out to Ramona Dye. Ramona Diehard Die, my fellow Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and just an all around chill chick. Love her. I hope she can come to Marcus. We would love to have her.
Love to have her on the show. Hopefully everything work out. If not, we do got Marcus Betts, and he does have a lot to say. He can speak for the both of them. Just let y'all know.
Nah, he can't speak for her. He can speak for him though.
He can speak for the both of them, much as he talk. So it's going to definitely be a good show.
It's going to be a great show. We got to get our topics down because, see, we can't come up here not prepared for Marcus because he will He'll rip us up.
Yeah. we'll be ready. I'll be ready for him. Trust me.
We'll be ready.
I got some things I've been waiting to talk to him about. So
are we
I'm
gonna
already
be talking about some sports too?
Yeah, we're gonna talk some sports stuff. Yeah.
We got to talk sports and politics because Marcus and I talk a lot about political things.
I'll let y'all handle the politician side. I'm gonna ask y'all one question, and then after that, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. I already got the question I'm gonna ask y'all.
Oh, okay. Well,
as a matter of fact, to give y'all some insight, it's about Miss FEMA. I think I forgot her last name. What's her last name? Out there in Georgia.
Oh, the one that's the prosecutor, the lead prosecutor against 45 problems.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can ask me about her. I already got where you going with it, and yeah. That'll be a great conversation. I'll just say that.
Yes. I'll let y'all handle that. I just gonna ask the question. But besides that, I want to thank y'all for coming out this morning. Thank y'all for hanging with us. Sharon, you got any last words? Oh.
My last words is there's no race of people who is supreme over others on earth. It's a lie. It's a lie.
All right.
And until we get over that, get that, and act on it, it's always going to be problems across this world. Period. Oh, and if you can't be with the one you love the one you with. That's my other one. All right, go ahead.
And God bless. Great day.